Welcome to the Bookers Alliance podcast, where we hold the pencil and the pencil is power. Coming at you right now is your host, Marky Mark, along with the man, the myth, the legend, Frank Donaldson. Join us as we discuss the ever-changing landscape of professional wrestling. So hang on tight, you jabronis, and enjoy the ride. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining today's episode of the Bookers Alliance podcast. Come on inside the house, bring yourself up your ringside seat, get your popcorn, your soda, your whiskey, your fireworks, your flags, get everything. Because we celebrating in here today, baby.
Well, so we are celebrating, but you forgot one thing you got to get, and that's your birthday cake, because we apparently had a birthday in the Bookers Alliance here recently.
Yeah,
so we got to celebrate some old man days here.
Yeah. 45 and alive.
That's
my motto for this year.
We got to celebrate the old man here first. So get your birthday cake out, cut yourself a slice, turn that sumbitch sideways, and stick it straight up your candy.
Whoa. Ain't no cake going there, sir.
Okay.
Ain't no cake going there.
All right, well, stick it in your mouth then. Eat yourself some birthday cake and enjoy yourself.
I'll take
Happy
it.
birthday, sir.
I'll take it. Thank you.
And
cheers to the
early
birthday.
cheers.
Cheers. The 45.
I know our sponsors are probably over there shitting themselves right now. They're like,
Damn
did they just
name
blow
us
us off this week? No, we didn't forget you guys, but that was a birthday hit shot. You got to take a birthday hit. Now we take care of y'all. You know, we pay some bills around here.
Right. So
Keep it moving.
We got Four Roses Bourbon as our sponsor this week. So thank you, Four Roses. I appreciate it. And yeah, I done been in the bottle pretty deep.
Yeah, we pre-gamed a little bit here before we had to prep this week. We took a week off. We know you missed us. We miss you guys. I mean, you know, when a whole lot of nonsense seems to happen. It goes crazy in here when we take a week off. We get, 3 weeks off a year, I think, or something like that. Every damn time we take off, they find a way to pack in so much stuff that we have to talk about. Makes us have a good show coming back off of it, though. So welcome back, guys.
Welcome back. And again, happy 4th of July. We're recording early, but of course, this will air on the 4th of July. So happy Independence Day. Be safe out there. Don't go crazy. Look, alcohol and fireworks are the way to get sent to the local medical facility.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to end up doing that. But if you're anywhere near the water this week, definitely stop by the USS Intrepid and catch a glimpse of Lex Luger slamming Yokozuna and then starting off on the Lex Express tour around the United States of America.
Good times.
What a flashback there.
All right, so we got to talk about everything that has kind of went down. We're going to start off.
Holy hell, we got a page full here.
We're going to start off with King of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. We're going to get kind of Night of Champions is what they call it?
Night of Champions.
So first things first, we got to talk about 2 AEW originals that are now our king and queen.
Yep, that's how it goes. I mean, well, I don't know if we can call Cody the AEW original. I mean, he is an originator. We can give him that. But
True.
He kind of had a little bit of name value before he got there, right?
True.
But on the flip side, so Jade won, but what WTF was that? Did she win?
I need Jade. Look, Jade. Fix the pin. Fix the pin.
I mean, I know she got to do the finger lick and the finger lick of doom, and I know she got to do the.
It's been a couple of times now, which okay, it's a couple of times. Okay,
yeah,
I get it, but that momentum coming back, just slow it down.
Yeah, I mean, right. Let it breathe.
Slow.
Every count, right? Like one, lean back a little bit more. Kind of like how AJ Styles does his entrance, where he only gives you enough arm spread until he gets to the Styles.
Right.
She needs to take it back, and then when the 3 hits, she can fall wherever the hell she wants. At that point, it don't matter. Fall backwards, celebrate. But yeah, we're going to need you to tighten it up out there a little bit, because you can't be the King of the Ring and look like that in the midst of it.
I tell you what was tight, though. The outfit was on point.
Oh, yeah.
Storm, she come out there just like Storm.
That's one thing about when you go to Saudi. Their outfit's going to be tight.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of outfit, but they going to be tight.
Yeah, tight they were.
That's why they left Liv at home. They just said, fuck it. We ain't trying to have an international incident this weekend. We got too much going on right across the border. We need to keep it tame.
Rhea stepped it up, though.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely made sure to pick up the slack where it was being left at.
But Jade and Asuka's match, good match. Didn't find anything bad in that match. Very good. Both of the work rate was good. Look, Jade has become a whole lot more proficient in the ring. You can tell she's worked on the craft. Just get that pen down.
At the end of the day, let's be honest. Jade's more Hulk Hogan than she is Bret Hart, right?
True.
I mean, she's more sizzle than steak, as Jim Ross would say. Yeah, when she comes out there, every time when she comes out there, hits that pose at the very part of her entrance, I swear for God, I'm posing too, because I mean that part. When you look at it, it's like, damn, the music, the old, the old remix of the X-Men theme and all that. When she hits it, you're like, damn, every time she comes out, you see Star, and it's like, till that damn bell rings.
Yep.
Now, when that damn bell rings, we're getting there. We're working. But up until then and post, like when she stood there at the end of it holding the crown up and all that, I'm looking like, oh, yeah, 100% I see why they did it.
Right.
They're like, forget what just happened in the ring. We'll edit that out. But hell, what we need is the money shot right here, and I get it.
So you got Jade, our new queen of the ring. Got to talk about the king of the ring, Cody versus Randy Orton. Great opener.
How many months ago did I call him being king of the ring?
A lot of months ago.
How many arguments did we have about, they're going to go with Sammy, they're going to go with Jay, they're going to go with somebody new. And I'm like, look, Triple H has binoculars on Cody right now. He's like a stalker at this point.
Look, a lot of arguments took place, but here's one thing that will always promise you here at the Bookers Alliance podcast. Look, I ain't going to sit back and kiss Frank's ass and agree with everything he says every week.
No,
it just ain't going to happen.
And that's because somebody's always got to be wrong, right?
That's right. Somebody's always doing it. And damn it, sorry.
Well, you picked up that mantle, and I'm not mad about it. I'm not, in no way, shape, or form am I trying to take that from you. It does have to be. We can't just sit here and glad hand all day and wipe each other's butts on every comment. We got to argue some, but just somebody always seems to take the wrong side of the argument. But I mean, what the hell, right? Why not?
So Cody versus Randy, great match, beautiful things, subtle storytelling. I don't know how much of it you paid attention to or how much of it you watched, but Cody is changing. Cody is his character. Look, he figured out, he's learned his lesson from WrestleMania about, look, I can't second guess my opponent anymore. I can't pull punches just because, hey, I used to ride with this dude up and down the road.
Yeah, you can't fall into that trap of we're friends, so I gotta hold back. You gotta just let it go.
You gotta let it go.
The other guy's letting it go.
And look, Randy was trying every which way to Sunday to figure out how to cheat. He figured it out with the turnbuckle, and then Cody was the one who took the opportunity, putting him in the turnbuckle to wrap him up for the 1-2.
I mean, slowly but surely, since Cody's return, he's had those moments. We talked about it before with AJ Styles.
He's
Kevin
had in the ladder.
Exactly. He's had a lot of moments where it's like, is this the moment? He just teases it so much. Speaking of him and Kevin, though, remember him and Kevin having a blood feud a couple of months ago? It wasn't that long ago,
I know
right?
where you're going.
It was that far back that we forgot about it. The whole Saturday night's main event.
Horrible enemies.
Remember, I mean, they were legit putting each other out. Kevin packaged pile drive.
Dude attacked him at his bus.
Attacked him at his bus in front of his kids, in front of his wife. Damn. And then a week ago, they're out there drinking. Look just like us out there. I was like, damn, did they legit take the Bookers Alliance?
Kayfabe is dead.
Right. I'm like, damn, did they legit take our scheme and everything? I mean, hell, they're sitting there, they're popping open bottles, although they drink a hell of a lot heavier than we do.
Hell yeah, they do.
To their credit, though, they're recording with a day off behind. Yeah, we record in the middle of the week.
We do.
Let us record one on a Saturday night one time, but we'll show them how it's really done.
So if you haven't listened to the Cody and KO podcast yet, got to listen to that. It's on Cody's
fun.
What do you want to talk about? That's his podcast. Great listen, great storytelling, and you legitimately hear the conversation between two genuine friends.
Yep.
It's a great conversation to listen to. But getting back to Cody winning the King of the Ring, he gets the microphone afterwards. After he didn't let up on Randy, he took the cheap, not the cheap shots, but he put him into the exposed turnbuckle. But I
got a question before we go into that. When Cody does the cutter, is that just an RKO, or do we differentiate it by being a cutter?
It's a combination of three things.
Okay.
It's a combination of DDPs.
Okay.
Combination of Randy's.
Okay.
And a combination of Will's.
Osprey?
Mm-hmm.
Yuck. But it is so nonetheless. In that match, we must have saw 17 of them fuckers. I mean, look, at this point, you got to know what your opponent's key move is, and you can't do it 7 times before he gets there.
All Randy had to do was pull a Samoa Joe and go, nope.
Yeah, and that's what I was waiting for. I wanted to see him just. I mean, because if anybody, he did it on the snap slam.
Yeah,
remember he did it on the snap slam where Cody went to and Randy just stopped, and then Randy went into his snap slam.
Out of one of those Cody cutters came a RKO though. He caught him. Yeah. He caught him in midair. And
that was a good spot. I like that.
But Cody's speech at the end of their match, that's not a traditional Cody speech.
No,
that was a little different. That was a hey, come hell high water, I don't care what happens, I'm getting the ball back.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Look, I know everybody's been like, oh, Cody ain't gonna go heel. It's the biggest baby face, blah blah blah. I don't know, man.
It might have to be.
I smell the dark side burning in that boy.
So
I'm telling you,
if there was any way to do it and really get the key payoff on it, I say double turn. I say Austin. Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13. I say you do the exact same thing
with Cody and
Cena and double turn them.
Yep.
Because Cena finally saw the light. Where he was going to hit Punk with the title. We'll get to that match later, but he finally saw the light where he said, no, I'm not going to do it. Even though he fell off at the end, he still had that glimmer of hope.
Yep.
The old Cena's still there. And that was at the end of the show. To whereas at the start of the show, there was that little glimmer of hope that Homelander's still there in Cody, because you're looking like, wait a minute, is that supposed to be? No, he's not supposed to do that.
But Hunter, here's my pitch. Hunter. Take the red, white, and blue Cody, the American Nightmare. Just turn him into the Nightmare.
No,
let everything go black. Let the hair go black.
Oh God! And
I
knew it was going to turn.
Let it go. Let it go dark.
Remember when Sting went dark?
Let it go.
AJ Styles went dark, and Hogan went dark. And I don't need him to go dark, right? He don't need to be wearing the red, white, and blue. He also don't need to have the music, because then it'll just be Becky Lynch when she's a heel, with everything being the same, and you just come out and talk trash.
Look, if they can figure out how to turn John heel and make it work and make the fans fall in love, they can figure out how to turn Cody heel.
Yeah, but see, and they did. But remember when John Cena turned, the first thing we said is make him go dark, turn him, make him start wearing
his
non-colorful T-shirts.
His entrance is dark.
Right, we wanted to change the music, and we wanted all that stuff.
He explained it though. He kind of shed light. Look, that's me and my music. Why would I change it? This is my slogans on these T-shirts. Why am I going to change that?
That definitely makes sense.
So but I'm telling you, that there's something brewing. Look, Cody's already been on record, 4 or 5 months ago saying, come SummerSlam, come WrestleMania, next year's WrestleMania, there's going to be some things that a lot of people never thought would be on the horizon.
Yeah.
So let's just see what unfolds with that. But before we get to SummerSlam and talk about SummerSlam, before we get there, we got to talk about Cena versus Punk that happened at Night of Champions.
Yeah, we definitely got to address that. That is a feud that predates us. But hell, that was long before we knew each other when those two guys were going at it. So we got to give them some minutes.
So I'm gonna go on record saying this, and I've said it before in a few different ways, but this is how I want to say it in this moment in time. This last run that Cena has put together has been something special to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely quality television.
It's been really cool to watch this. Now, IWC, I get you. I hear you. You out there, they're ruining this. This could have been so much more, blah, blah, blah. What else would you have done?
Yeah, at what point could it? It could. It's sure it's not living up to Hogan turning NWO, right? It's not
right.
But it's also not the atmosphere of that anymore. First of all, fans can't throw drinks and trash and shit in the ring, so that takes away from the glimmer of it in one angle. For two, most of John Cena's fans have always been little kids, right?
Right.
Little kids aren't going to follow the storyline along, close enough to say, oh, well, now I got to boo this guy. They love John Cena for all their lives. For some of them, they're not just going to turn tail on a 6-month run, right? They know enough to know that John Cena's still the guy that he was. They never saw Total Bellas, so they don't know how John Cena really is. Now, that's the John Cena that I want.
John Cena.
That's what the IWC is really clamoring for. They just don't know it. What we need is complete just asshole John Cena talking about some, I got rules in the house and your ass will message me before you go to bed. We will have cigars before dinner at 6 p.m. sharp. If you are late, you are evicted and that kind of bullshit.
Hey, a cigar with John Cena, I get down with that.
I mean, hey, I feel like John Cena could definitely go for a few drinks. And from what rumor had told, single John Cena used to get down in all the fun situations. So I wouldn't mind flashback John Cena for that.
But let's talk about this. Talking about flashbacks, let's talk about how they built this match. First things first, you had Cena cutting his own version of the pipe bomb. Fantastic.
Man, we haven't gotten together and talked since then.
Fantastic version. Fantastic version of his, the pipe bomb for him. And then you had Punk reverse it and come out with a doctor of punkonomics.
Punk life.
And I'm like, oh,
that was awesome.
This is sweet. This is cool how they're doing this.
Remember when it started, I wanted John to go back to the Word Life song. Yeah. I knew he wasn't going to do the gimmick with the shirts and the jerseys, and all, but I wanted him to go back to the song because that was his original heel song. The new song, My Time Is Up, didn't come till he became a face, but he didn't. But I see why he didn't now because they needed it for later on for Punk to be able to tell that part of the story, which was classic.
Those two bits were great. Then
hold on, we got to address this before Punk should never try rapping again. I mean, that was absolute trash. It was awful.
Punk is named Punk for a reason.
Exactly.
He likes punk rock.
He should have came out there and let a loud ass guitar drown out his lyrics because that was horrible. I mean, I get it was a gimmick but I feel like Punk was trying to deliver it like he wasn't trying to be funny with it.
He couldn't get the timing right.
No, hell no. So he's got no rhythm. We could definitely get into that conversation about white guys with rhythm, but we'll just avoid it now.
Come on, I'm a drummer. Come on.
Let's see you dance.
I can't dance.
Okay.
It don't correlate to the dance floor.
Exactly. And it didn't correlate to the music from Punk. Punk can give a great cadence on a promo, but damn it, if you try to put it to a song, oh God.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah, no, that would pass.
But the match, Yuck. Though, the match kind of...
4 letters, 1 word. Yuck.
The match kind of gave us what we wanted, though, because we saw a few shades of the old Cena. We saw a few shades of the old Punk. We saw plenty of counters in and out of the go to sleep versus the AA. It was good storytelling in the ring. The match itself, by the time it all come unwound with Seth and his boys coming out there, Charles Robinson taking the bump of his life.
Charlotte native.
Jesus Christ.
Charles native, he got pounced.
He look, John Cena about literally made Charles Robinson go home through the air without needing an airplane.
Yeah. That's one of those moments where, they talked about it before, and Charles probably told him, go
Charles
for it.
Go for it, man. Lay it in.
Right. But you can see when John hit him and Charles crumpled.
Yeah.
You can see John kind of look at him. And I think John thought to himself, holy shit, I didn't mean to go that far.
John stood up and lit himself. He went, oh,
because at the last second, if you watched it close, at the last second, he pulled up.
Yeah.
But by that point, Charles was going full force. There wasn't no pulling up for him. So, Cena's a brick house compared to Charles Robinson. Yep. John just had to stand there. Charles was going to knock himself out in that spot, and then he accomplished it very well.
Now, I want to say 2 things, though. I want to say 2 things, because you said something about John being a brick house. That man's 48 years old.
Yeah.
I'm 45.
I'm 47.
If any of us could still go in a ring at 48 years old the way that man looks, that man could still go. Now, look, I know he says, I felt like I lost a step, and that's why I'm walking away. Cool. Kudos to you. You're sticking to your guns. Believe what you want. I'm good with that. As a fan, I'm good with it. As a human being, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
But, John, you can still go.
I mean, absolutely.
Dude.
It's a different time now. I get why John wants to do it because John's got so much other stuff going on outside.
Right.
For him to be able to commit this amount of time to a run anyway is probably, it's like when The Rock did it before. Yeah. This is it. When Rock did it with who the hell did Rock wrestle? Oh, Cena. We're talking about Cena. But when Rock wrestled Cena, that was 15 years ago almost, and he said then, this is probably the last time I'm going to be able to dedicate this kind of time to it, period. Well, here we are in Cena's point, and he's saying the same thing. This is probably the last time I'm going to be able to give this much time to it, so let's get all we can get in it now, because there's no point in half-assing it going forward. So, he's given us all he's got, and I'm loving every bit of it.
The way the match ended, though, with Cena and Punk in the middle of the ring, mano a mano, bygones be bygones, realizing this is it. Like, this is truly it. You know, the greatest rivalry is coming to an end.
Yeah.
You know, and we got to see it with him and Randy.
Yep.
It was
He's doing his. I mean, and we called this as soon as he turned heel. We said he's got to get his greatest hits in while he's got the chance.
It's great,
and
to
we're
watch.
paying all. We're getting as good as we can get.
And it was cool to see him and Punk and Cena have that moment. They shook hands and embraced, and then John gets that deadpan, dead ass look in his face.
Yeah. But unfortunately, because John is who he is, he don't know how to sell nothing quietly. He can't duck his head down or nothing. He's got to look dead in the mic and say, "I love you" before he goes for the kick. Holy hell. I'm like, John, it's been 25 years. You haven't learned how to shade any spots at this point.
Nope.
I guess John said, hell, I'd have made it this far without it. Ain't no point in trying to learn nothing now.
But it was cool how it all wound up. But Seth freaking Rollins stopping CM Punk again. Look, we just keep. I hope you guys can appreciate all of the feuds that we're actually getting.
Yeah.
Seth
and the fact that they're never ending. It's not like they get to the blow off and they just call it one. Seth and Punk aren't going to have the blow off until one of those guys is retired. I mean, those two are going to be tied together they're going to be married together as long as they're both wrestling.
Seth and Punk, Punk and Drew, Cody and Roman, Cody and Seth.
Yep.
These are just these moments that we're getting. Look, I know everybody looks at the 80s in the glory years, and everybody looks at the Attitude Era. Look, please wake up and realize, as a wrestling fan, the feuds that you have in front of you right now is just as great, or if not greater, than some of the feuds that we grew up on.
So when you look back in history, 20 years from now, that's how these days will be regarded at this point. These will be the glory years of wrestling, because it's cyclical. It always happens, as the next generation comes up and becomes wrestling fans. They're gonna make memories the same way we did with Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels and these guys are picking them up with these same characters that we're watching now. To us, it's like, oh, great, we're glad to see it. But to a kid out there, I mean, they're seeing something that's making their life. When they see Cody come out and he signs a belt and gives it to him, I mean, that's going to make that kid's life, and of course, again, we look at it now like, fuck, that belt costs $200. Hell, I ain't buying it. It ain't worth it. But, when he gives it to a kid, it means everything.
Right. So let's parlay this into SummerSlam. Cody is now king of the ring. Cody obviously is going after John Cena. What do we?
Wait, did we forget Survivor's Saturday Night's main event? Or we just
we'll get there. We'll get
there. Okay, because I'm excited to talk about who's next.
we'll get there.
Okay,
they're next. We'll get
all
there.
Right.
So we talked about the potential of a double turn in this match between Cena and Cody.
Yep.
I think that is a fantastic choice if they choose to go that direction.
I agree. I don't think they're going to do it.
I don't think they are either, because I honestly think with John saying the other day in an interview, the fans are going to kind of dictate the rest of how this all shakes out.
Yeah.
And look, if he finishes as a heel, I don't see why or how, but I kind of dig it if he finishes as a heel.
Well, at that point, it don't matter. I mean,
there's
because
theory.
He's legit finishing. Like he's not the guy that's going to come back at WrestleMania and give one last performance. He said he's done, and I take him at face value.
There is a theory. There is a theory out there rolling around that Cena actually means what he says. That he's taking this belt and going home.
Oh, we've talked about it
as the last champion.
We've talked about it. Believe me, I am not 100%. Am I not against them elevating the World Heavyweight Championship up into the main company title? Figure out something else later down the road, as you do. But I couldn't see anything better than Cena taking that gold belt, taking the World Wrestling Entertainment Heavyweight Championship belt home with them as the last real world champion. There's nothing better than that. I couldn't see anything better than that.
Now, the question is, though, what's on everybody's mind right now? And this might be a topic for another day. Could we see the sun set on the three initials WWE? Could we see that happen? And instead of the WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, it becomes TKO Wrestling.
So if they do that, I got 3 letters for you that goes along with what you just said, and that's YUK. Yuck. Oh, God. And so I can understand the reasoning behind it, but oh my God, that would be so horrible. I mean, I remember with TNA, which already was a bad acronym as it stood, but I remember when they changed to Impact Wrestling, and it was like, holy hell, you took bad and made it worse. It was almost impossible to make TNA worse because TNA, as we all know, means tits and ass. Now, whatever they thought it meant was
It means
regardless.
what, Trish? What?
Exactly.
Trish Stratus?
Trish, Test, and Albert.
Oh, yeah.
Or whoever the end was. God only knows. But we know how the idea went. And then they changed the Impact, and I said, damn. They took the worst name in wrestling and made it worser.
Yep.
Yes, as the same way they made up that name, I made up a word.
Worser.
They made it worser.
Look,
WWE changing to TKO makes it worser.
Look, I know TKO is a publicly traded company, and would they take a hit if they did some kind of stunt like that? Yeah. Are the fans going to shit all over it? Probably. Yeah, absolutely.
You know who's going to celebrate it? Tony Khan, because that'll be the most his initials been talked about, at least on this podcast, in years.
I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I think SummerSlam, though, is going to give us a really good picture of how Cena's run is going to wind up. Because if Cody don't beat him, there's only one
superhero left out there, and that's the world ender. Thanos himself, the gauntlet wearer. The bloodline hero. Are we going to talk about the new bloodline, or are we just going to overlook that this week?
We're going to overlook.
Yeah, we need to give that a week to fester. We need to see a little bit more out of that, because holy hell.
To me, there's only one person that can step up and outside of Cody and really take that belt off of him.
That's the one that they should be waiting on. There's only one in 21-1, and that should be that one.
You talking about Brock?
No, not that.
No, we're talking about Roman.
Yeah,
only one.
If Brock was available, he could definitely be the guy, right?
Look, I've seen Brock and Cena before. I would love to see it
right, because he's been murdering Cena for decades at this point. So he could definitely be the one, and I would love that.
I had thought about like who did we miss in this Cena farewell tour? Like, we didn't get Brock.
Well, we apparently Janelle Grant did. Yeah. So therein lies that. So we ain't getting no more Brock because she got enough of them. So moving on. Yeah, moving on.
We're not getting Big Show.
That who? If they bring Big Show back to wrestle John Cena, I'm tapping out.
We're not getting Edge.
No.
Or Cope.
No.
Or Adam, or whoever he wants to be called.
Yeah.
We're not getting any of those.
Are we getting Mickey James? How about Nikki Bella?
Somebody got him back in the day, but we ain't gonna go.
Oh, okay. Because now Punk's line when he dropped about them hiring back Cena's ex-girlfriend, that was classic. That was classic. At that point, I'm like, finally a zinger, finally something we can stick our teeth into. And it was 2 weeks ago, damn it. I said, God, why is this the week we're not recording? But I digress.
All right, so yeah, SummerSlam. Obviously, SummerSlam is going to be a big deal this year. We'll know more of the card as we get there, but obviously there's
2 nights.
There is tons of events happening before SummerSlam. We got to talk about.
Yeah, we got Saturday night's main event coming in a week.
So we got
we're staring that down in a week.
Goldberg versus Gunther.
Oldberg.
So here's my deal. Goldberg was Goldberg to me. It was never like the big deal to me. Like I got him, like it was cool, but I will always be a fan of the more. You either got to be, in my mind, technical or you got to be flashy. Goldberg was straight up smash mouth, punch you in the face, pin you, and be done.
Love it.
And you know that's like you said, love it.
Love it.
Not my cup of tea. Your cup of tea.
Love it.
So here's my thing with this match, though. Gunther can make this match entertaining, but it's going to rely on Gunther.
Yeah, they're going to need a lot of outside interference to make it entertaining.
This is going to have to rely on Gunther. Look, Goldberg, at the age you are, still getting in the ring to compete, kudos to you. Great. You're in great shape. Always going to love seeing you get in the ring.
But then that damn bell got a ring. We've said it before. We're going to bring it up again.
You got punches, you got kicks, you got suplexes, and you got
hopefully
you got a jackhammer and you got a spear.
Hopefully for all of the above.
You
right?
are the old man.
We've seen jackhammers. Right. We've seen jackhammers not work. We've seen spears get it. We've seen spears cause injury. Hell, we've seen headbutts to the locker cause injury before the match starts. So let's just say, take it easy before you get out there. Right. Let's keep it all in the ring.
Hunter, don't let that man headbutt anything before he gets in there.
Yeah, no kidding. Put a football helmet on him. Hell, maybe let him relive his Georgia Bulldog days. Put a helmet on his ass. Keep him locked up until it's time to go to the ring.
Now, do I want to see Gunther just go in there and totally decimate Goldberg? No, I don't.
No,
I don't want to see
that.
that.
Would be horrible. You got to give it's Goldberg's retirement match. You got to give him his spots.
Give him his spots. Let him play the greatest hits. Feel free to take the action outside.
It's WWE. How about what if he wins?
What if he wins?
Yeah. No. 4 letters, 1 word.
That'll be the Seth Rollins cash in.
Yeah, it better be something.
Yeah, and look, Seth, if you want to cash in that belt, what a great way to do it is against Goldberg.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, yeah, especially in Atlanta.
Yeah,
no better way to draw more heat than. But to get there, you got to put the belt on Goldberg, and even for 5 minutes.
Yep.
I'm not 100% sure I'm comfortable with that no more, because while the visual may look great for whatever nostalgia act you're shooting for Atlanta, you got to leave Atlanta eventually, right?
Yep.
When you leave Atlanta, if Goldberg somehow or another gets out of Atlanta with that belt, oh, hell no. Nobody's signing up for that. We don't want to see that.
Look, I get it. It's his last match in his hometown. But at the same time, look, Edge went out on his shield in his hometown. It's okay for the hometown guy to lose in their last match.
Well, that's a WWE staple is
right.
for, losing in your hometown. But we got to see how Triple H plays it, right? This will be one of his very first last match guys, right? I don't think he's done this before. So we're going to see, him and Goldberg didn't always have, they weren't always the best of friends, right? They didn't always see eye to eye. Right. So is he going to honor Goldberg's legacy and try and pay him off one last time? Or is he going to honor the business and the storylines and all that other shit that he's been building for the last couple of years, stay true to it, and let Goldberg go down with the 1, 2, 3, look up at some lights, and then wave bye to the crowd as he leaves the wrestling business behind to get better without him?
Yep. So that's coming up within a week's time. Another event that's coming up pretty soon is Evolution 2.
Oh, my goodness.
So
do we have any matches announced for that?
They've hot-shotted it, and we got them all this week.
Great. So, because last week I forgot to say damn thing was even happening. So, awesome.
So, we're getting Rhea versus Io for Io's belt, which I don't fully understand the logic. I get it, but I feel like they're just doing that to put the belt back on Rhea.
When you got 2 weeks, I mean, what else are you going to... They've been trying to figure this out since Mania.
Yeah.
So I think now's the time where they're like, all right, we held off at Mania. We gave Io a decent run through the summer. Let's pay it off now. Let's main event Evolution with that.
We're also getting a women's battle royal. Now, granted, this is not the Royal Rumble, the women's Royal Rumble. This is a
because that would take an hour.
Right. This is a women's battle royal. I do feel like you're going to get some pop-up surprises. I do feel like you're going to get the Bella Twins in this one.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
Since you're not getting them.
Well, you're not getting them for the tag titles.
For the tag belt.
Somebody bungled that up.
Yep.
But
I feel
what about, do we get Britt Baker? Is it finally time to get in for the doctor to be in business?
I feel like you're going to get either Britt or Paige. One of the two.
Either one and or both would be amazing.
I also feel like there is potential if AJ Lee was to ever come out. AJ Lee would be a great battle royal.
Yeah, I saw CM Punk, bringing out some of her moves out of the woodworks this past week. So I mean, there's been enough reference.
She also took a picture, but she's been known to troll in the past because her and Punk are good trollers.
Yeah,
but she took a picture a couple days ago with her wrestling boots on, and it said, "Hello, darkness, my old friend."
I think that's the key that shows she won't be there.
Yeah.
Because if she was going to do that, no way you're going to tease it beforehand.
Yeah. Could we see some...
But we can hope.
Could we see some returning old-timers? Yeah,
apparently,
absolutely.
From what you told me before, as you spoiled my Friday night, is we're going to see one at some point on this event.
If you don't want to be spoiled right now, turn the volume down in 3, 2, 1 and turn it back up in about a minute.
There you go.
3, 2, 1. Apparently, we're getting Tiffy versus Trish Stratus.
Yeah, because why not, right?
Why not? I mean, of course.
Yeah.
Two blonde bombshells.
Yeah,
Why not,
yeah,
right?
right. My eyes will not be sad in that moment.
no, there
my
will be no
eyes have
sad
seen
eyes.
the glory of the coming of the girls. So.
Blue Chew.
Oh yeah, we
We're
can definitely reference them now. Let me refill my drink here for that, because sign me up for that booty duty when them girls come out there, because I'll be watching.
All right, so you can turn your radios back up now. We're all good, but we're not going to talk about that. But we will talk about the kind of the weird debacle we got going on with the women's tag belts, the cursed tag belts.
At least they're out. At least they're going to get defended
gonna
at
get
the
there.
titles.
So you've got
at the match.
Roxanne and Raquel defending, apparently.
Freebird rules.
Freebird rule.
We're going to go with Freebird rules and call it one.
You're getting a women's tag from SmackDown, from Raw, and one from NXT to have a 4-way dance for the title.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting the titles off of them girls.
Absolutely, because that's a cluster AF like no other. I mean, it's a nightmare.
I would not be surprised. One of your tag team people will be the newly formed tag team of the Dungeon Dolls.
Oh, who the hell
Who
is
the
that?
hell is that?
Or what?
Yep, that is Natalia and other girl. Damn, her name just left.
Yep, that's how much it's even. From the Otis,
Maxine Dupree.
yeah, Maxine Dupree.
So they are now called the Dungeon Dolls.
Strangely enough, I have a hard time remembering her name. Have zero hard of a time remembering her figure.
You said hard. Blue Chew.
Uh-huh.
No, so they have merchandise out now called Diamond Doll or Dungeon Dolls.
Yep.
So these, I would not be surprised if they wind up with tag belts. I would not be surprised.
I would. When they said that they were going to have teams coming out, I was hoping they were going to try and bring back the Iconics, because that would have been classic to have them come back now.
They're in TNA though now.
TNA is co-owned by WWE at this point. I mean, WWE's keeping the lights on in that
They
building.
said Raw, SmackDown, and NXT.
They did. Unfortunately, when they did that kind of threw out all the hopes that I had. But I really hoped they would come back, because I was like, put the titles on them. Those titles were kind of created for them. They just missed the boat on it. But put the titles on them. Let them wrestle the Bellas. I thought that would have been great at SummerSlam.
Yep.
But we bungled that, of course, too. Triple H, but you know what happened? We took a week off. They didn't have nobody to bite ideas off of, so they
what happened.
freelanced
They
it.
freelanced
and
it.
now we got this nonsense going on here. Holy
Makes
hell.
sense.
Sorry, guys.
Makes
we
sense.
won't, fans, we forgive us. We won't take another week off for a while. Holy hell.
So
What a great idea that got missed.
the other match that's on the card is for the NXT Women's Belt between JC Jane and Jordan Grace.
Okay. I think that's definitely the platform to put Jordan Grace on, for her to get a title win, and
Absolutely.
attach the rocket straight to her back.
Absolutely. That'll probably be the 5 matches for that event. I doubt
That's
they'll put
plenty.
anything else in there.
That's enough.
You know what I would like to see for that event, actually? I would like to see a all women's commentating team.
That would be
that
awesome.
event.
I don't know who they would use to
I don't
do
know
it,
who they
but
would, maybe Mickey.
Mickey would be good. I definitely wouldn't complain if they get Kathy Kelly out there, because
No,
I mean,
I wouldn't complain.
You'll never get a shade out of me for that.
Now, you're
Jackie Redmond might find a way
Now,
out
you're
there.
not gonna,
I'd be
you're
signed
not gonna
up for that.
get it. You're not going to get it. But
I mean, I would want to get it,
but
I would try to get it.
But what a platform!
If either one of them are listening, they could get it. I'm just saying.
What a platform that would have been, though, for somebody like Renee Young to be on the commentating. Maybe Lita.
It would have been awesome to have Samantha Irvin here. So we're going to bring back all the guys who went to AEW, and then their women followed behind them, and their careers flushed straight down the toilet.
Yeah, seriously.
So we'll just bring you all up right now at the same time. Sorry, girls.
But it would be kind of cool to see some of that. I don't know what else is going to happen, but I am looking forward to the event. It's been a long time since we've had the Evolution pay-per-view. I'm looking forward to it. I just wish it wasn't as rushed.
Same, because remember a month ago or so, we talked about the premise of this. It might even been longer, like 6 weeks ago, which means they've had plenty of time to book it. It seems like they just had so much on their plates that it became an afterthought. 6 weeks ago, though, when we brought it up, I mean, we were throwing matches and ideas around for women. We were talking about women had to get called up to the main roster so they could get on the event. We had so many plans for Stephanie Vaquer and Julia and all these women, and it's like they bungled every bit of it. It's all like, again, it's like it became an afterthought, and now they're like, oh hell, we already scheduled it, we announced it, we got to do it. Let's just throw some shit together and see what happens. And I'm not a fan of that.
Here's and I'm gonna try my best to get in this conversation within the few minutes we got left of the podcast here. But here's my problem right now with women's wrestling in the WWE. We just sit here and talked about Cody Roman, Cody Seth, Cena Cody, Seth Punk. We just sit here and went through these current rivalries that are fantastic.
Yep.
What about the ladies?
Yeah, they have
Where are their
long-term
rivalries?
legacy storytelling.
And quit being it. Look, I stole your man. I'm mommy now. Stop that shit.
Right,
Give me what you're giving me with fucking Seth and Punk.
And they've
Give
got
me
the
that.
talent. They've got plenty enough of the talent to do it. I mean,
They do.
you got, so here's matches that we brought up. I know we're running short on time, but here's matches we brought up years ago, right? We're rolling into almost our third year of this. And I remember the first year of our podcast saying, can't wait to see Charlotte versus Bianca Belair, right? Couldn't wait to see it. Now here we are at the women's pay-per-view. I know Bianca's out, but beforehand, no conversation about it. We got all excited just a year ago. Charlotte and Jade sized up each other. They ran into each other in the back, and we said, "Oh my God, look at the money that could be made there." Well, now you got Women's Evolution pay-per-view coming up. You got Jade doing Queen of the Ring thing, and Charlotte ain't even on the card. What are we doing right now? If Charlotte ends up in the damn Battle Royal at Evolution as a Battle Royal contestant, at that point you just shank the whole thing and throw the baby out with the bathwater. At that point, you're killing yourselves.
Look, I know we got great producers backstage putting together these matches. I know you got Abyss, you got Robert Roode,
Jamie Noble.
Don't forget him. You got
Michael P.S. Hayes.
You got great producers that are backstage. These same storylines that these guys are producing could be done for the women.
Absolutely.
It's just not being done.
No.
And here's the thing. I hate to even go this way. It's still one-sided within the wrestling business. It really is.
Yeah, no shit.
It's centric towards the men.
Yeah.
Look,
and it doesn't deserve to be at this point.
It
At
don't.
this point now, so in the Attitude Era, 100% got it, right?
Yeah.
Before that, fuck, I mean, when Fabulous Moolah was the only women's rep, yeah, absolutely. No women need to be on the show.
Yep.
But as we've gotten to this point now, the women have surpassed the men on a lot of different occasions. You got to respect that and build off of it. You don't just let it happen in a match. You don't just let it happen one time and say, oh, okay, we did it. Great, now it's done. No, you have to capitalize off the momentum and build off of it, not just table it and call it one.
That's like the street fight that happened between Tiffy and Nia. That could have been an Evolution.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And look, I don't know if it's just because I don't know, we kind of know some stuff, but we're not day to day behind the scenes. Although Triple H, if you're looking,
I mean, we should be at this point. They're taking all our shit anyway. Why not put us on payroll?
There was once upon a time though where Stephanie was back there, spearheading the women's division, and that division was cooking.
Yeah,
in that moment.
Yeah, because she was at the top of the company as she was speaking up.
That's missing. It's missing right now.
You know what I would like to see? If there was going to be somebody, you know how Tyson Kidd is the main producer, backstage for the women's stuff.
Yep.
I know Natty's not ready to hang him up right now, but I would love to see her tag up with him.
Absolutely.
And just say, you know what? Just give us the women's division. Give us a block of time.
Absolutely.
That's all we need. Give us 15 minutes on every show.
I don't care if
and
you
just
gave me
let
an
the two
hour,
of them do it.
I don't care if you gave them an hour show by themselves every week.
No, I would
carry
sign me up. I would watch that every day of the week.
Yeah, they could carry
But if you need to get people that are invested in women's wrestling to talk about, and that's the problem. You still got granted, again, we love the backstage. We're not the kind of people that sit here and bitch about the producers and all that. They're doing what they're told. This is what they're given. It's their job to make it good. Clearly, we're still watching, so it's been fine. But you don't have anybody that's fully invested. I would say take Tyson Kidd, take Natty, and fuck around and get Fit Finley back, because Fit did so much for Trish and Lita and that generation of women.
Go get Gail Kim. She's not doing anything.
Exactly.
Right now.
Get these people involved that care about women's wrestling, put them on the payroll and say, hey, let's make that like an Evolution. Let's make Evolution the best pay-per-view ever. I want the Fire in those girls to say, you know what? We're getting this pay-per-view here. We're going to show them why we're better than Saturday night's main event happened the night before.
Hell yeah.
With the lineup that we're getting, I don't feel like that's what's going to happen. But there's women back there that I feel like could legit say, you know what? We can beat everything those guys did last. You put on Goldberg and Gunther, well, we'll put on Trish and Tiffany, and we'll blow them out of the building.
Yep.
Because Trish can damn sure work better than Goldberg at this stage of the game. So I mean, you at least got 2 equal dance partners at that point.
Yep.
But again, that's the missing, and that's what you have to take it. So again, if you need a couple of guys that know something about the business that are definitely invested in women,
We here.
I mean, exactly.
Look no further.
Sign us up now. We need to let WWE know because we've been pitching it for a while, but they've been laid back. They're trying to play games and pussyfooting around and all that. Busted Open's going 24/7 here coming up soon. So the offers are gonna start coming in on one end or another. So WWE, if you want us, you're either gonna have to let us freelance for both sides, or you might just miss us. So I would say get your checkbook out.
Hurry up and get on it.
Right. Write a couple of zeros, then write a comma. Write a couple more zeros, then write a comma.
Another comma.
And you can get us right there.
As
XYZ 99 sold right there, but we gonna need 2 commas.
As Trick said, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it now. But like I said, write a few zeros, write a comma, write a few more zeros, write a comma. Then we at the table. We gonna have a conversation.
All right. Speaking of conversations, we got to wrap this one up. Let's bring this one to a close. Thank you for listening to today's episode. We appreciate everything you guys do. Drop us a line on our social media platforms. Let us know your thoughts. And with that, everybody, we bid you adieu.
And welcome back, guys. Glad to have you back. Man, hit the mute on this. I'm sick of these motherfuckers. They get us.
Today's podcast was produced by SBP. You can find our podcast on all major podcast platforms. Also, connect with us on our social media accounts. Search for The Bookers Alliance on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X.